Hello, as usual, it's your favorite Ukrainian audio reviewer Pavlo, and today we'll be talking about Shanling True Wireless earphones with long name MTW200 Plus. As you can easily guess, it's a new version of their MTW200 that I reviewed some time ago. But actually, it's probably not a new version, it's totally new earphones because they offers a new design, new driver, everything is new here. Anyway, price is $110, and for this price you're getting pretty stylish true wireless earphones with IPX7 waterproof, with support of SBC, AAC, and aptX adaptive codecs, up to 10 hours of work, so pretty promising specs. I think that's all I need to say for the introduction. Let's have a closer look. Box is fairly small, but looks accurate. I like small boxes, less space occupied on my shelves, and less environmental fingerprint. So inside you're getting a case with earpieces. Let me remove this thing. And underneath probably will go some accessories. And here we are getting manual, short USB Type-C to Type-A cable, and 5 pair of tips. So pretty nice, I think. Case is superb. I really like cases of Shanling True Wireless earphones, and this one is not an exception. It's made of zinc alloy and it definitely feels super solid. As you can see, it's pretty slim and sleek, so will fit nice even into pockets. But overall impression is really great. LED indicator, USB Type-C for charging, and a pleasant feel and weight of metal. It flips this way. There is a metal that holds the lid. Hinge is made of metal, which is also pretty good in my opinion. And here are earpieces themselves. Basically made of plastic, nothing shiny, and in general pretty simple and at the same time pretty strict look. As you can see, spouts are oval, so it's better to use specialized tips with oval spouts. Nice fit in ears thanks to the small size, and as usual sensor controls. You can see that they gather fingerprints pretty well. You can control almost all aspects, including track navigation, volume, transparency, noise cancelling mode. Sometimes you need 2 or 3 taps, not super convenient, but in general all features are, in terms of controls, are present. They don't have companion app, unfortunately, but at the same time I don't think it's a big issue in this price tier. But of course having equalizer would have been a nice feature. They hold connection really well. Work time, I've got more than 7 hours. I didn't test them for longer, but I suspect it depends on codec and listening volume and stuff like that. So probably 10 hours will be reachable sometimes, but I think that for true wireless models you will charge them in case more frequently. And that long work time is not absolutely necessary. Transparency mode is like average in terms of quality. You definitely hear that it's not transparent mode, but like a microphone transmitting signal. And noise cancelling is also pretty normal. Not great, not terrible. Probably this meme will stay with me forever. It's good with monotone low frequency noise, but with some random and more high frequency noises it's not that superb. But in general it works pretty decent with things like, I don't know, your neighbors drilling or some engine running or stuff like that. Overall, in terms of design and controls and other stuff, I really like these earphones. Pretty strict, laconic, and well, to my taste, good looking. Traditional microphone test, recording this part of the video with earpieces in my ears and using their microphones. I won't apply here any gain correction or equalization, so you'll get an idea about their microphone sound. Tuning of these earphones is made for those who prefer engaging type of signature. Nothing audiophilic here, not for those who like natural, uncolored sound or something like that. Traditionally for Shanling we getting additional weight on mids, a bit more additional weight on lows, but this time also they've accented treble to add more air to the sound and to balance overall signature. So it's kind of mass market tuning, but it's a pleasant type of mass market tuning for those who prefer more emotional type of representation. So bass go deep, it has nice control, not superb, but pretty nice. Texture rendering is decent, but lacking a bit of small nuances and details. There is a noticeable hint of additional weight, but despite of that additional weight, we're getting pretty decent punch when it's necessary. In general, it's maybe not bass-head earphones, but they definitely tweaked for those who prefer like palpable and mighty low frequencies. But at the same time, they are not too overwhelming and they are controlled rather okay. And example, it's Casey Abrams, Let's Make Out. So here we're getting double bass as one of the instruments. It's slightly exaggerated in size and also moved forward towards the listener, but in general it sounds pretty pleasant and you can focus more on that nuances of the instrument. But vocal is also done nicely and actually transition between bass and mids is done pretty well. Even on pretty bass-heavy tracks, low frequencies not shadowing mids too much. Of course, mids are average in terms of resolution, not trying to deliver some micro contrast and some tiny nuances, but in general, resolution is okay for instruments to sound natural and realistic. There is an accent in the upper mids that highlight female vocals and distorted guitars and instruments that hitting the presence area. So if you're sensitive for this part of sonic spectrum, it can be a bit too much for you, but in general to my ears it sounds also pretty engaging, adding additional emotions to the representation. Imaginary stage is slightly above average in width and about average in depth. They're definitely not critical for the quality of record, and suiting well for the modern mixing for streaming services and stuff like that. As an example, it's Fortunate Son by Creedence, nice bass line and rhythm section, good percussions, and actually vocal sounds slightly on the harsh side of things, but not crossing the comfort limit for me at least. And the treble is accented. In terms of extension, it's just average. I don't know, is it an intentional tuning or is this is some kind of Bluetooth codec limitation? But in general, it sounds pretty okay with proper attacks and decays and with good basic overtone saturation. If you're sensitive for the treble, it can be a bit too much for you, but for me it's a normal amount of high frequencies. It's slightly simplified, but in general delivers decent amount of information to make instruments sound realistic. And as an example, I've got Miles Davis 1 and 1, and here probably it's pretty audible that it's lacking some layering and refinement in the treble area. But at the same time, thanks to the accented treble, instrument sounds pretty airy and with a good amount of realism. Speaking about the comparisons in this price range, for example, we've got Anker Soundcore Liberty 3 Pro. I didn't test Liberty 4 Pro. Probably I should do it in some of my next videos. But Anker has a hybrid design with balanced armatures on mids and treble, and that gives us more focus on the small nuances and more detailed and less weighty mids and treble. Same actually applies to the FIO FW5. And here you're getting more bass and more analog-like sound signature. So to summarize everything, here we're getting pretty fun, engaging and bassy earphones, but at the same time not overly bassy. So if you're looking for some true wireless model with a strict and stylish design and V-shaped signature, it can be a great option for you to consider. Thank you for listening, thank you for your attention, and of course have a great day.